Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of the Motivation Plus Marketing.com podcast. And I'm excited to bring to you an elite champion, one who has proof. All of you know that I always say, be careful and be wary before you hear real reviews, because business is about real reviews with real results and real people. And I'm excited I was able to coordinate this special quick interview with Steve Clayton, who is one of the leaders, one of the founders of the Kibo Code, which we're gonna dig into, and even before I jump into and have Steve share about literally some serious numbers, some serious results, I want you guys to write this down, because as you're listening to Steve, I'd like you to go to it, get tied in, watch the process, and definitely take action to own the program we're going to discuss. And you guys can discover what's going on by going to www.getkibocode.com. That's GETKIBOCODE, getkibocode.com. And you're going to want to go to that. You're going to want to take action. And all of you know, it's a rarity that I ever interview people about an e-commerce, about a marketing program. But I've done my research. Most importantly on the leaders behind it. As all of you know, I'm 54 years young. I've been in this business since cassette tape days, and I've seen people come and go like a tissue in a South Florida hurricane. So I'm excited to bring Steve to you guys live, Steve Clayton, on this quick interview. So Steve, thank you for your time. I know you guys are getting ready for literally a multiple seven-figure launch here. So kind of give everyone a quick overview of why they should get Kibo Code.
Well, I think first of all, maybe start with what it is, right? And, it's a complete system, a complete framework. Everything that you need, sort of think about it as kind of just a business in a box, and just put a bow on it and kind of put together with some paint by numbers sort of thing to get you to build an enormous e-commerce business and build it fast. And, the whole idea is that, there's absolutely nothing else that you need other than, what we're going to give you to build, a stable, very large e-commerce business very quickly. And so that's what it is. And I think that the unique value proposition really as to why somebody should be interested in that is, first of all, I think that e-commerce is probably the easiest path, the path of least resistance for people to start to build their own online businesses for a whole bunch of reasons that we could talk for hours about. And I think that the reason that it's different, than other things out there is that the focus is on getting rid of all the roadblocks that we've seen, in teaching tens of thousands of people over the last decade. And, things that we've seen are people having to, work with finding suppliers, having a lot of capital to buy inventory up front, having to deal with, legal setups and reseller certificates. And people shouldn't be worried about, if they don't even know what these things are, because you don't have to if you, follow along with the Kibo method. Just figuring out which products to pick, figuring out what your website ought to look like as far as conversion methods. And, it's graphic design, it's copywriting, it's everything. And, so what we've done is, and what we do every year is we just get better and better at just getting rid of all those roadblocks, all the places that people typically fail. And then they get the biggest thing, which is traffic. It's an interesting paradox right now that from a marketing perspective, we live in a time, you were talking about you're 54, I'm old too, I'm 53. And so we've been around a long time. We've seen these, traffic sources. And right now, if you take a snapshot of time, there has never been a time where we've had such power at our fingertips. If you look at the traffic that you can get from Google AdWords, from Facebook paid ads, from within the Amazon ecosystem, it is some of the best traffic, some of the most targeted traffic, and some of the most abundant traffic ever. So that's kind of the holy grail, right? The downside, though, is that with all of this incredible power that we have at our fingertips to get traffic, which is obviously the lifeblood of any business, with all the power that we have at our fingertips, what has also come into play is incredible levels of complexity. Facebook is probably the best example of that. It used to be very easy to set up a quick campaign in Facebook. Now you've got to be an expert in, graphic design, in copywriting, in analytics, informatics. I mean, there is such a level of complexity to try and get reasonably costing traffic out of Facebook because of all this power. And the same holds true in different ways, but the same holds true for Google paid search, AdWords, as well as Amazon. And what we found is that is not the place, that is not appropriate for someone who doesn't have, really a couple of years of experience in direct response marketing and paid advertising. And so one of the big changes that we've made this year is that we're getting rid of all of those traffic sources, and we're going with what I think is a traffic source that has kind of just been hidden in plain sight, and just gets rid of every single one of those complexities that I mentioned, but retains the good stuff, the abundance of traffic, the cheap traffic, the highly targeted traffic. So it's really the culmination of everything we've been doing for more than 10 years now.
And it's amazing, Steve, as I hear you just literally cover the tip of the iceberg, I want everyone listening to pay very close attention. 2020 is the year of vision. 2020, the economy has never been stronger than before. The stock market is breaking records. We as entrepreneurs and business owners have never seen so much money in the cycle of the consumer confidence. And all of you, what's interesting is, you mentioned analytics, traffic, copywriting, Google AdWords, Facebook, and I want everyone to really be truthful on this. You talk about time and money. Time's your most valuable asset. We'll never get it back, and money's a tangible number. The investment for the Kibo Code literally and I say this respectfully and is way beyond this, just to save you tens of thousands of dollars, even as you were going through this, if you guys add up all the value of it, you literally have a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 literally online training course to protect you and save you from all the money being spent. Yet the investment is a few $1,000s, which is a joke because people will blow through Facebook ads, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 and sit there and then be emotionally shot. Well, maybe this is not for me. My family's right. Maybe I should go get a job. And I want you guys, once again, make sure you do go get KiboCode.com, GetKiboCode.com. Because when I was first reviewing this, when I saw the number, the value, I was like, just to protect yourself, to save the money, even though you're going to earn huge income and be able to really position yourself to learn and protect yourself from all the wannabes. And something you said, too, that's why I'm excited we're doing this quick little interview today on my podcast, is you said decades of experience. And all of you listening, There's a lot of hot shots online. I call them the wannabe millennials, and every other year they're doing something different. You guys have been doing it now for a decade, which shows track record, it shows success. But I just want to unpack that up a little bit more, just about the value behind it. I mean, it really is an insane. I mean, you guys could easily put a number on this, easily $10,000, $15,000 for it, bar none, just because what people will waste money and time on.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, and we kind of we feel that same way. But I think for us, just to give, I guess, a little bit more of our background, and when I say our, I mean myself and my business partner, Aidan. But not to muddy the waters too much, I'll just talk about myself. I mean, I've been a serial entrepreneur in the online space for over 15 years now. And it's our vision for our company that everything that we do successfully, we like to teach. Because both Aidan and I discovered probably about 11 years ago, so, again, more than a decade ago, that what our real passion is teaching and, coaching and helping people do the things that we've been able to do. I think that we get pretty excited about building companies and, making money online, of course. However, I don't think anything gets us more excited than somebody coming up to us at an event and saying, hey, you changed my life. You allowed me to build this business that I'm working to this day, and I quit my job and work for myself and support my family. So, that's really why that's just kind of our passion, So you have to make it approachable to at least a certain number of people. And so the price, the cost of entry to the course doesn't necessarily correlate directly to the exact value, but it does correlate to our passion, which is getting at least, as many people as we possibly can on this journey that we can take them on. So I know it's probably a long-winded way to answer what you asked me, but.
Well, no, it's great. No, I think it's, it's all about change of lives, and it's all about results, and it's all about, really just the niche and just the wheelhouse of e-commerce. Just kind of for a few minutes, because you're the expert on this, you have the numbers and you see the window. I mean, in the upcoming webinars you have and the classes you're going to share with people about to introduce them to the reasons why they should absolutely get a hold of the Kibo Code, is you talk about where people are earning $30, $40, $50, up to $70,000 in a day with the e-commerce site. Now, all of you know that I believe in huge business. Obviously, all of you know that know me. I talk about big numbers and big giving and the whole process. And e-commerce is just an enormous platform. And with the economy rocking, 2020, we're going to hit numbers in the stock market, the economy. More people are employed in America than ever before, which I know all of you, like what Steve said, a serial entrepreneur. You want to be an entrepreneur. So this is such an incredible value. So give us a little kind of window into the e-commerce growth, and then kind of a couple examples that you share.
Yeah.
I know you guys give away a free ebook on it and so forth, kind of just some real factual numbers, kind of the e-commerce market, and then some factual numbers.
I mean, the e-commerce number, I don't have the current number of e-commerce, but it's just, when I always talk about the e-commerce opportunity, I always like to use the word infinite because, of course nothing's infinite, but for crying out loud, it's the only retail sector that has been growing year over year over year over year. I mean, it's the reason why, every mall is dying. And I mean, you guys know this. I mean, it's pretty, it's common sense. The numbers of the whole overall e-commerce market they're so big as if to be meaningless, I think. You might as well just say infinite, and you might as well say the opportunity is infinite and strangely infinite, but getting even bigger, which is impossible. But anyway, but to bring it down, here's what I think is valuable that really puts this in perspective. What we always do I said everything that works for us, we like to teach others. However, we usually, always pretty much have one step in between that. And that is that we take a small group of, we call them beta test students, but they're really probably more accurately described as alpha test students. And we put them through, what we feel is going to be the training course and the resources and the material, because it's not really enough for just us to do it. We have to be able to teach it, and it also has to be, reproducible, and just people have to be able to replicate the success, or at least some version of it. So I think the best way to put this in perspective is to take a look at one case study, because we could look at 20 of them, but one case study. We picked this guy JB, and we said, look, let's sort of pick worst case scenario. Let's take JB. He's in Argentina. It's not even like one of the. I'm just careful how I describe this, but it's not like, it's not the UK or Canada, one of the more easy countries to deal with, right? So let's take a country that's difficult, because the hardest part to market to the United States is usually from outside the U.S. Maybe there's some, English is not a first language, that kind of thing. Let's give JB the materials. Let's let him run with it. Let's see what he does. So JB takes the materials, runs with it. Day one, the first day he's up and running, he makes money. This is what I love about this model. Now, he made $316.13. Now, that was revenue. But he was running at an insane profit margin. He was running at over 50% profit, which is actually not the norm. Usually we see, somewhere around like 30 to 40, somewhere around there. But anyway, so the guy made, whatever that equals, $160 or whatever. So pretty exciting, because one of the things that we find, again, in a decade of doing this, is one of the reasons that people give up is that they just don't get any kind of success fast enough. I remember when I made my first sale online, I remember exactly where I was. I was in LAX. I was at Baggage Claim. I was looking, and I saw this thing pop up, and, that kind of thing. And it was amazing, right? So, and it got me going. And that is going to carry the day if we can get early wins on the board. And that's what Kibo is all about. So day 1, he's at $316.13 in sales. Day 6, this is not cumulative. This is what he did for the day. Day 6, $1,301.75. Day 30, $2,174.16. And these were consistent. These weren't spikes that I just picked. These were, consistent growth. So by day 30, he's averaging anywhere between $2,000 and, $2,500 a day in revenue at about 50% profit. So he was, it was 10 weeks that we ran this case study. Of course, he took it and ran with it longer, but we just kind of like put a stake in the ground. 10 weeks, he made $154,000 in sales. He had $13,000 in returns, so he had $141,000 in net sales, and he had about $70K in profit. And this was with 3 products. So it's just I think so. We could talk numbers all day. We could throw 20 other people up here. We could throw insane numbers out there, which we do, but it just at some point becomes so meaningless unless you can just focus on one guy in a particular situation and go, yeah, I could do that. I could be that guy. Why not? And
there's 2 things. As all of you listening to this, and by now you should definitely go visit www.getkibocode.com, GETKIBOCODE.com, getkibocode.com. There's 2 things, guys. Procrastination will always kill you. E-commerce, the numbers, like you said, are infinite. But the problem is people will procrastinate, overthink, and miss this. Take action. It's early enough in a decade, early enough in a year. And there's 2 things, and then we'll conclude our quick interview and let you guys go get KiboCode.com and let Steve go back and generate hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue for people who will take action. I love what you say here, and this is very powerful. The one-click super app that will allow you to go from 0 to live in 60 minutes or less. And this is so important for all of you because you could buy a $40 ebook, a $20 ebook, a $200 program, listen to 10 to 20 people, and then be totally frustrated, dissatisfied, confused, stressed out, full of anxiety. Because when you go cheap, you'll always break down and fall apart. And that's why this is a phenomenal value for a few $1,000 investment. And I chuckle in that because it really is an insane value, amazing content. You just share with everyone the one-click super app. That'll be our final question, and then I'll do one more. Get KiboCode.com. You go assist those that are taking action. So what's the one-click super app?
So the whole idea, of everything we do is we really try and just take away as much of an opportunity for you to fail as possible, and even for you to procrastinate, as you said, which I agree is one of the big things. So we don't want you to have to worry about any technical issues. We don't have to worry about graphic design or any kind of copywriting or anything like that. We know what works. Again, we've been doing this forever. We know what the best practices are. We test everything. So we have exactly what your website ought to look like. And with, the push of a button, you install it. It's done. It's ready. It's just very, very simple. I could be more simple. I wish I could talk more about it, that there was more details to discuss, But it's not just that. The other things are all push button as well, or, push button like. I'll give you a quick example. Products. That's another area where people, obviously you got to have products to sell.
That's right.
And, sometimes people get, messed up because they're like, well, I got to find suppliers first. All right, well, I got to do that. And then I got to talk to those suppliers. I hate doing that. And then I got to figure out if these suppliers are going to do business with me if I don't have my reseller certificate. And then I got to figure out if they're going to drop ship for me so I don't have to invest in, all sorts of inventory until I want to, until it makes sense for my supply chain, Well, we've done all that for you. We've got all of the suppliers lined up. They're ready to work with you. We've got millions of products, but then we even take it one better, right? So what we did is I think we looked at about 3 million products that potentially could be sold. And we said, we're going to apply our very, very strict filter to these products, looking at demand, search volumes, price you can buy it for, price you can sell it for, all that sort of stuff, a whole bunch of other things. We're going to apply that. And we took about 0.5% of all of the products that the whole population of products that we could sell, and we put them to the side as the cream of the crop, and we actually give you 5 of those products. And they're just for you within the Kibo Code. So we try and just take every opportunity for failure away. And remember, our guy JB, he did $140,000 in sales in 10 weeks with just 3 products. So it's kind of a no-brainer. you know?
That's right. It's there, guys, and that just really fine tunes and gets everything focused right down so someone can earn income, someone can produce results, and that's why all of you want to go to GetKiboCode.com, www.GetKiboCode.com. And those of you that are listeners of my podcast, I want to make a special offer. For the first 7 of you that take action, what you want to do is email. All of you have my email. It's john@giantgoals.com. Because if you don't have giant goals, don't get involved in Kibo Code. You want to procrastinate, make excuses, ask all broke people what you should do in life, and make all the excuses and Google all the reasons why you're going to fail, then just disconnect now and go hang out and do nothing. You'll look back 10 years from now and miss this ride. And I'm going to challenge you. As a strategic coach, I've been coaching before everyone was a coach. The greatest coaches in the world will challenge the players to change and win. So I want to offer the first 7 of you a 1-hour strategic coaching session with me to really lay out your plan, how to implement the program, and how to win and keep you accountable. And you guys know the value of that is insane. I say that respectfully. So for the first 7 of you, as soon as you take action, own the program, send us the receipt, and then my team will get a hold of you, and we'll schedule a strategic coaching session for you for your general goals in life, for your daily accountability, and most importantly, to implement strategically and not just put Kibo Code to the side and make an excuse. Because the investment, really, you guys, you and your partner have done a tremendous job, because there's a lot of wannabes, there's a lot of fake, millennials that have fake websites that go on Facebook and they're doing 64 things at once. But you and I want to pronounce your partner's name correct. Aidan, is that correct? Aidan Booth?
That's correct. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Aidan and Steve are the real deal. So, guys, once again, GetKiboCode.com. The first 7 of you, you will have a 1-hour strategic coaching session with me, and I will keep you accountable. I will make you implement and make sure you do earn tremendous amount of income. Because I would love one of my students to be one of your record-breaking students, Steve. That will be so exciting for me, because you said about changing lives, and I've written 20 books in the marketing realm. And I talk about closing is about changing lives. Closing is opening relationships, about loyalty and integrity, and that's what I know you guys have and your program has. So, Steve, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, guys. www.GetKibo, GetKiboCode.com. And I know you're out in Chicago, so stay warm out there, my brother.
I'm trying.
Thank you, Steve. You're awesome. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.